Hi there. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister at the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Low Country. It's been my pleasure to be a part of this congregation for the last 2 or 3 years and to serve them in this way. And as I have worked with this group and sort of new to the Unitarian Universalist faith base, it's been a joy for me to begin to really explore deeply the foundation that they serve on, the foundation that they lift from. And I'm going to give you a little bit of what that foundation looks like so that you can understand who we are, what we're about, why we do what we do, and why we are so socially involved in so many areas of this community. There are 7 principles that are operating inside this denomination, operating inside this congregation. And they're very quick to make sure that you understand, anybody understands, that these principles are not dogma or doctrine. They're a guide of how we might be able to be a better man, be a better woman in our community. The first principle is this: the principle of the inherent worth and dignity of every person. The second principle is justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. The third principle is acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. The fourth principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. The fifth principle is the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. The sixth principle is the goal of world community with peace and liberty and justice for all. And the seventh principle is respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Now, the order in which those came does not mean that one of them has a higher order than another. It's best to think of these as a sphere in which we try and operate and try and bring these principles into the light. But you should also know that there is a foundation to those principles. There are 6 sources of wisdom that are a part of this faith base. And I want to share those with you too, because you'll find this, I think, to be significant. And it helps you understand who we are, why we do what we do. One of the sources of wisdom is this: it's the direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. That's a mouthful right there, and there's more yet. It's the words and deeds of prophetic people which challenge us to confront powers of structures of evil with justice and compassion and transforming power of love. When we open the words of this second wisdom, we think of Dr. Martin Luther King, we think of John Lewis and all those who have gone before, of those prophetic voices that speak into our world, and we lean heavily on them. The third wisdom is from the world's religions, which inspire us in our ethical and spiritual life. The fourth wisdom, the fourth source of wisdom for our principles, is the Jewish and Christian teachings, to which we would also add Islamic teachings, which call us to respond to God's love by loving your neighbor as yourself. The fifth source is the humanist teachings, which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science and warn us against idolatries of the mind and the spirit. And the last wisdom is the spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions, which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. These are the 6 wisdoms that inform the 7 principles that opens the door to the dignity and to the value of every human being, and seeks to move that dignity forward and hold that value high and do all that lies within our power to operate with these principles and to lean on these wisdoms, for those are the things that take us to a higher place. They reveal to us a better man, a better woman inside each of us as we seek to put these to work, to find these principles, to take these wisdoms and to move them forward in a way that brings dignity and honor and respect to all people. That's who we are, and that's why this really encourages me to be a part of this community. I hope that this has been helpful to you and instructional, and I'd love to be able to talk with you more about it. Thank you so much.